Wilmar's business revolves around transporting palm oil products, which involves three parties: seller, shipper, and buyer. In the perfect scenario, when transporting 5,000 metric tons of CPO, assuming the ship's character is similar to the short tank for simplicity, the ship figure load will be 5,000 metric tons. After arriving at the discharging port, ship figure discharge will be 5,000 metric tons. Finally, the receiving tanks will receive 5,000 metric tons, with no loss or shortage. However, there are three main scenarios when cargo loss can occur. The first scenario is the lack of loading at the loading port. This is where the bill of lading is 5,000 metric tons, but when it is loaded to the ship figure load is 4,950 metric tons, a loss of 50 metric tons. Thus, the ship figure discharge and the receiving tanks suffer a 50-ton shortage as well. In this case, the short tank did not load enough cargo to the ship, causing shortage. Lack of loading can be caused by leftover cargo in the pipeline if it is not blown properly, leakage to other short tanks because of loose valve, or expired short tank calibration, sounding meter, or thermometer certificates. The second scenario is where the cargo goes missing during shipment. In this scenario, bill of lading is 5,000 metric tons, the ship figure load is 5,000 metric tons, but the ship figure discharge and the receiving tanks are only 4,950 metric tons, which indicates the loss of cargo happens during shipment. Missing cargo during shipment can be caused by tank leakage to ballast or other tanks, or when the crew steal and sell the cargo. Usually, we can identify both of these scenarios when one of the ship tanks has lost more cargo than the rest. Cargo loss during shipment can also be caused by a drop in temperature of the cargo, which occurs during a long voyage. It can drop from 50 to 32 degrees. However, it's common to get a lower sounding results of CPO when it drops below 50 degrees, which is the recommended CPO sounding temperature according to the PHOSPHA heating instruction. Usually, the loss of cargo will be even amongst all of the ship's tanks. This issue is not serious since the cargo can often be recovered when reheated to 50 degrees. The third scenario is where the cargo goes missing at the discharge port. In this scenario, bill of lading, ship figure load, and ship figure discharge are 5,000 metric tons, but the receiving tanks only receive 4,950 metric tons of cargo, indicating that the losses happen at the discharging port. This is similar to loading ports. Loose valve, expired tank calibration, sounding meter, or thermometer certificate could cause loss of cargo. In addition to those, missing cargo at the discharging port can be caused by discharging through trucks instead of receiving tanks, where the truck weighing scale is used instead of the usual cargo sounding method. Two different types of measurements will lead to discrepancies. Discharging through many different pipelines to many tanks. This is a problem since different tanks have different characteristics, and by changing the pipeline many times, the odds of cargo being left over in the pipeline increases. Cargo is being pulled out of receiving tanks before the discharging process has finished. Discharging ongoing, but the cargo in the tank has been pulled out. Under the current rules, the shipper will be claimed against in all three scenarios, regardless of where the problem lies. By claiming all the loss to the shipper, nothing is done to solve the real problems on shores, which will hurt Wilmar's bottom line as well. The solution? Komite Kesusutan Kargo.